What is knowing a language? I'll share a personal story. My grandmother is Portuguese, like me, she comes from Portugal. However, if I try to give to her a novel by a famous author like Saramago, for example, that writes in Portuguese, she does not understand the novel because Saramago usually uses complex language. He makes references to cultural and historical events that you need to know in order to understand the book. There is language knowledge. My grandmother has language knowledge, does not mean that she understands everything in Portuguese. Many things she does not understand. And the same with me. I don't understand many cultural references and many obscure vocabulary in many of the languages that I know. However, I can speak and understand people. And this is my goal. Your goal might be to understand or read Dostoevsky in Russian. For example, I know Russian and I can speak with people in Russian, but I still cannot read Dostoevsky in Russian. It's just impossible for me. My reading skills are not that developed. However, I claim in this video, and you can also see videos of me in my YouTube channel speaking Russian. Knowing a language does not mean also that you don't do mistakes. I do mistakes in many of the languages that I speak all the time. Even when I speak English, which is a language that I consider to master, I do make mistakes. My father is a native Portuguese speaker, and sometimes when he writes emails in Portuguese, he makes mistakes. So let's not confuse education with language learning. These are two different things. Also, when I speak Portuguese, I have an accent. I have an accent from the region of Alentejo, from Baixo Alentejo, South Alentejo, which is where I come from. So when I go to Lisbon or Porto, people notice that I'm from that region. I could practice to change my accent. However, I don't want to do it. I don't see the purpose of it. Many people, like actors, need to have special training for getting an accent. So, sounding like a native speaker or having perfect pronunciation is also not related to knowing or not knowing the language. So, I have to make this disclaimer, and this part is just about doing this disclaimer because many people don't seem to understand that. When I speak with people, they don't understand what is actually language learning, what is actually being fluent, and they misassociate that with sounding like a native, being like a native, or even that I understand everything in the languages that I claim to speak. So this disclaimer is important for me to do.